When I first met Jeff, and I saw this product online on, I believe it was Facebook, and I reached out because it was interesting to me. It was something new that I'd never really seen before. And I went to the Great American Outdoor Show, met Jeff. He's telling me all the benefits that this product can do for you. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, wow, this guy's really high. Like there's no possible way that what's in this jug is going to be able to do what it says it does. Little did I know, after 6 years of using the product, I was the one that was actually high. I'm joking, by the way. But it can explode your wildlife, and I found this out on the first couple months of using the product. And I'll tell this story real quick, get it out of the way. He told me, do not spray around your bow stand because you won't be able to get out of the stand. The deer are going to be focusing on where you sprayed. And opening day is, or leading up to the season, opening day here in Maryland was like September 15th, 6 years ago. I sprayed everything that I possibly could. And back then I was just using a hand pump sprayer, little, pump backpack sprayer, 4 gallon. I was using all that. And I sprayed everything I could reach. I sprayed it in front of my bow stand. And opening day, I could not get out of my stand in the morning because deer came in. They were focusing, eating on what I sprayed. And I remember texting Jeff, like, hey, I can't get out of my tree stand. And he wrote back and said, laugh out loud, because he knows what he said. When I first met him that winter, that do not spray around your bow stand. And I did that, couldn't get out of the stand, it was funny. But jumping into this, how can Antler Grow explode your wildlife? And it's a very simple to understand once you understand how deer survive, how deer live, and what they do. And it's just like anything else. It can't be something that you're using, one time and then all of a sudden expect results. It's what you do month after month, year after year is what benefits the wildlife. There's no magic bullet, there's no magic pill, there's no magic soybean, there's no magic anything that you can use and see instant results as far as growing and exploding your wildlife. It's instant gratification for attracting deer because deer are attracted to the most palatable plant that they can possibly find. So when you're spraying Antler Grow, you're creating that powerful attractant because you're sweetening the plants up. You're making that plant more attractable to the wildlife. So that part is the instant gratification part. Growing deer is not instant gratification. It's what you do year after year. I've had people email me, message me, whatever, in person, wherever I'm at. They'll say, hey man, I used Antler Grow, sprayed a little 4 gallon backpack sprayer around my bow stand, and I didn't really see any difference. What do you mean? Well, the deer just kind of seemed the same. They didn't, I didn't grow any deer bigger. I said, okay, well, were the deer attracted to what you sprayed? Well, yeah, they were eating what I sprayed. So it's not something you can use one time and explode wildlife as growing them, right? It's what you do year after year after year to see the major benefits. It's like I said, it's going to attract them. Everybody I talk to uses it. They eat what they spray. The people that use it in a supplemental program is the people that see the major benefit from it. And we're going to talk about how it can actually benefit deer and birds. Here's how it works. When your deer consume 4 to 8 pounds of browse per day. If you don't know what browse is, it's all the green foliage in the woods, the grasses, the bushes, the briars, the honeysuckle, the poison ivy, all that stuff. It's what they eat on a daily basis, 4 to 8 pounds of it per day. Times that by how many deer you have, times that by per day, per week, per month, per year. It's a lot of food that's required to maintain a deer's body weight, health, nutritional levels, etc. When you take all that food and you spray all of that food with micronutrition, Antler Grow, you're increasing the palatability and nutritional status of that plant. So when a deer consume that, they're eating a more palatable plant. Deer get bigger by birthdays, genetics, and quality food, okay? Most important is going to be birthdays. Deer, no matter what you do, as far as trying to grow a deer, they get bigger by birthdays. You have to have them have birthdays. Genetics, that's always going to be there. But without that nutritional standpoint, they can't reach their full potential genetic wise, right? So that food has to be there, and you can see this across the country in areas that have limited food. You have skinny deer, ribs are showing, they have poor antler growth, they have no nodules on the bases of antlers, they look very sickly. In areas, ag country, swamp bottoms, etc., those areas have larger deer, right? So when you spray all that food, okay, you're allowing that wildlife, deer, birds, to consume that more palatable plant, which is a more nutritional plant with micronutrients. Micronutrients are your limiting factor in soils. Plants get their nutrition from the soil, sunlight, etc. So one way to boost all that is obviously opening up the canopy, allow that sunlight into the plants, and then also through the leaf itself. We're kind of reversing nature in a way, because the plants are there all the time. There's only so many nutrients in that soil. They continue to sit there and suck the nutrients out of the soil. There's only so much there. Over time, that's gone. So you have to replenish that. When we're talking about natural browse, we can replenish that by foliar feeding those plants micronutrients, opening up the sunlight, getting more sun in there, and that will explode your natural browse, which in turn will make it more palatable to the deer, and it will explode your wildlife. Food plot wise is supplemental. We plant the food plots. It's a supplemental program. So when you're liming, you're fertilizing, NPKs, you're doing all that per your soil sample in your food plot. You take that food plot, you spray that food plot with micronutrients. If you're spraying acres of winter wheat, acres of brassicas, or whatever it is, we're not focusing and concentrating on a little 3-foot circle where your typical mineral, you dump on the ground. We're spreading that mineral across acres, unlimited, to your wildest imagination on how much you can actually spray. I mean, you can spray unlimited amounts on your property. And the more you do that, you stay on a program every 30 days, every 45 days, every 60 days, or whatever it is, you build those nutrients up in that plant, right? And then those nutrients are there year round, because I get a lot of questions and say, Dave, how the heck does this product benefit year round if there's no green foliage on the plants? Reason being is you spray those plants with the green foliage, green leaves, those plants absorb those minerals and micronutrients from the antler grow down to the stems, the roots, and everything. So when the leaves fall off and the deer transition naturally to woody browse, those nutrients are still locked in that woody browse part. So you can feed the deer a more nutritious plant 365 days a year. So you're benefiting the wildlife 365 days a year. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Birds is the same thing. You can explode your turkey population and other game birds on your property. Obviously, you have to have cover, and there's a lot of things that go into it. But from a nutritional standpoint, remember, when you're spraying, say you're spraying a clover plot or browse or whatever it is, those birds get in there. They're eating the berries. They're eating the bugs. The turkeys are in their clover plot eating the bugs from the dew, and the bugs are in there, and the turkeys are eating them. They're eating the clover heads that you sprayed. You're giving those birds a more palatable, nutritional, plant, because micronutrients is what builds health. Micronutrients are in your vegetables that we eat. They're absorbed out of the ground, right? So when the birds consume that, they're eating a more healthy plant from the bugs and the leaves of the clovers and berries and whatever it is that they're eating. It's going to increase the health of that bird. They have more nutrition to the shells and the eggs and the poults and everything. And then the poults are born. They're in there eating the clover heads and the bugs and the berries and the everything else that they consume, the worm, everything that's in there. So it's a year-round process, a year-round nutritional program for not only deer, birds, whatever it is, on your property that you can explode, not only attractability-wise, but also nutritional standpoint to the deer. Because the main thing with that is feeding them year-round with a more nutritional plant. You up the digestible proteins in the plant, the mineral contents in the plant, all by giving it the shotgun effect with all your micronutrients, the most important key ones that's in Antler Grow, and feed that wildlife for 365 days a year. Any comments, guys? Comment down below. Give the video a thumbs up. I hope I explained this well to you guys, and I'm sharing this now with you because it'll lead you into the growing season here coming in 2022, spring, summer, fall. Have a program together, think about it, write down some goals, and consider this adding it to your management program. It's not something you do one time a year, but if you stick with it, I promise you, you will explode your wildlife. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you want more information on food plots, soil samples, and habitat management, click this video right here on the screen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you guys are new.